Good morning and welcome to the garden. I am just coming out here to fertilize all of the containers, the seedlings, make sure everything is doing okay. I ended up planting up one of my containers with some of the seedlings that I got started indoors from seed. And so I did want to show those to you and show you that recipe so that you can kind of follow it as it grows over the season and watch how the container does. So I will show you that in a second. Right now I'm just gonna do a quick water and fertilizer. We should be getting a thunderstorm later this afternoon, so the whole garden should be getting a pretty good dose of water, but I do want to make sure I'm really consistently fertilizing all of these containers, especially the ones that I planted in, the petunias, you know, those summer annuals really need that serious regular fertilizing. It's super important for them, so I want to get that done. I also want to show you, I just looked down and I swear in the last day, some of these perennials are just absolutely taking off. It's kind of amazing. All of a sudden, look at this Heliopsis. If you've been following along, this was just like tiny, and all of a sudden it's getting huge. It's looking super healthy, so encouraging to see. Also, this container over here with the herbs is getting so big. I'm gonna come in here and harvest some of the biggest leaves of this lettuce, kind of size control it while I just keep it pruned back. But it looks, oh my gosh, so beautiful. This area, the phlox is getting huge, and then of course we've got the petunias. But yeah, everything is just all of a sudden flushing out. My arugula is almost ready to harvest. I can come out and probably start harvesting some of those baby greens soon. I mean, how beautiful is that? And then the clematis is just, oh my gosh. So don't mind this. I washed all of my seed starting materials, so I need to pick those up. But look at this clematis. It is just taking off, and I see buds, which is the most exciting thing. And the peas are growing in there. I really like having the peas growing in amongst the clematis. I think that was a good combination and kind of perfect. And then I got the tomatoes started on the other side. So far, this arch trellis situation is working out just the way I like it and the way I envisioned it. So we got the tomatoes on the one side and the clematis here on the inside. That way we're utilizing both sides of the trellis for different things, and I think it's gonna work. So far it is. And of course, yeah, just seeing the buds on this clematis is making me so excited. So I'm gonna turn the, well, let's see, I'm gonna pick this up first, and then we'll turn the water on and we'll get some fertilizing going. All right, and while I'm over here picking up all of these seed starting cells, this is the container that I got started from the plants that I started from seed. So you'll remember these seedlings. So I put in here, these are the jigsaw peppers. So they are an edible pepper, but they're also a decorative pepper, and they've got these really pretty variegated leaves, which you'll see more as they get older. But they're also a smaller pepper, so they're not gonna get really huge. They're gonna be kind of mounded. I think like 18 inches is about the size for them. So there, I put two on the side here. And then this is some of the sunset coleus that's gonna be really frilly and kind of have some oranges. You can start to see some of those colors popping in and kind of mix, I think, hopefully mix nicely with the color of the jigsaw peppers. That's going to be my goal. So I put a couple of these in here, and then I put in the middle some of my baby blue eucalyptus, which will bring in a really nice blue color and hopefully be kind of like a thriller in the middle of the container. These are all really small seedlings right now, so of course this garden is not looking like a whole lot at the moment. And I mean this container, not garden. This container isn't looking like a whole lot, but as the season, you know, progresses, this should really fill out. And I am planting all things about the same size, so hopefully we'll get some nice even growth and it'll just come up and look beautiful. On the other side, I did the same combination, but I do have a black petunia in here. And I'm just gonna keep an eye that this petunia doesn't cause issues for these other guys growing up and filling out, but I think it'll be just fine. You can see in this coleus how it's starting to look as it matures. It's going to be kind of rusty and oranges and reds and really beautiful, I think, mixed with kind of the blue, and then the peppers should also be really pretty. So an edible as well as a decorative, which is one of my favorites. When you have a small garden, you know, you just don't have endless room to do, okay, all my cutting flowers or all my decoratives over here, all of my edibles over here. It can be a little trickier than that. So that's why I like to put, you know, some decoratives with like with your tomatoes. You can put, you know, some nasturtiums or something, or a flower, a petunia even, will grow just fine with those. And that's a good way to get your decorative kind of look in with some actual edible things. And then also fun varieties like, I'm trying to pick up all these one-handed, all these seed trays. The jigsaw peppers are fun because they are an edible pepper, but they've got a lot of decorative value because they have a really beautiful, you know, variegated leaf structure and everything, and they're a cute little kind of almost like a bedding plant because they're a little bit smaller. So that's nice too, because you just add in this additional factor. And if you've got a little garden like me, again, this is, you know, also my backyard, so I want it to be beautiful too. And so I love a variety like that it has kind of multi purposes. It just, I don't know, it just makes it a little bit more interesting and more fun in the garden. All right, got the seed tray picked up, and I am going to help these little seedlings in these containers especially get growing, get looking beautiful. I am going to be fertilizing them very regularly, and that's going to be a really important process for their growth. So I am just going to use a water-soluble fertilizer. I could use a like a bloom booster or something, but again, with the edibles and the decorative plants, to kind of split the difference, but make sure I'm still feeding them, I like to do just an organic fertilizer, and I like to do something that's an all-purpose fertilizer. That way, you know, we're still sticking with organic for the edible things, and we're also getting, you know, the flowers, like the container that has the petunia, the flowers are still going to get what they need. Maybe it wouldn't be quite as good as if I did like a straight bloom booster, but I do want to make sure that I'm getting my edible plants the stuff that they want. So it's just kind of a little bit of a mix doing that, but I find, you know, that it works out just fine. Okay, let's water. All right, so I got the whole garden fertilized. I mostly just fertilized the containers that have the big annuals in it. As I was saying, that's what I'm going to do. The perennials, I am starting onto a water-soluble fertilizer once a month. And that's what I usually do with my perennials that I have in containers. And in the past, that has worked super well for me. I did give a little bit of fertilizer to the clematis, and I'm just going to kind of watch how that goes. But I believe from what I have heard from other people, clematis likes a lot of food, and it is starting to flower right now. So I'm going to see. I'm just going to kind of be, you know, see if I see any signs of stress. I can back off on the fertilizer, but I'm going to do every other week with water-soluble fertilizer for the clematis, just because that's one that's a little bit more of a heavy feeder. I did not put any fertilizer in like these containers that have the collard greens, which are which have completely bolted. They're kind of really beautiful. So until I'm ready to plant these containers, I'm just gonna leave them. I've been noticing a lot of bumblebees on them. They're really kind of stunning. I like the yellow flowers, so I think they're adding to the garden right now. And so I'm just leaving them and enjoying a little bit of this like spring blooms. I've got a couple tomatoes over here that I'm actually going to take over to my garden plot. So they're not looking super good. I don't know, but I'm just going to put those there. So I did fertilize them, and these are a couple more little seedlings. I gave all my seedlings a good dose of fertilizer. I did end up throwing out a few seedlings, but in here you can see we've got a ton of tomatoes, some peppers and things that I still need to plant out, and all of the zinnias are coming up. So I'm gonna be able to start planting those soon, which will be fun. I did not fertilize them because they don't have their first set of true leaves yet, so I'm just gonna wait on those. And then once they start putting on another set of leaves, then I will go ahead and give those fertilizer. So that is kind of the schedule we're on and the plan that we've got going on right now. But overall, I'll give you a little look. It's starting to really take shape. We're starting to fill up. Of course, my daughter's toys are always everywhere. My next big project, I'm gonna make a little garden container for her. So stay tuned for that. I'm kind of excited. That's gonna be a fun little project. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how this coleus, eucalyptus, and pepper container does. Peppers grow pretty well in containers. If you're kind of debating right now and trying to figure out what you want to do for containers, if you want to throw some edibles into a container, I highly recommend peppers. They tend to do pretty well. They still need water and everything, but they tend to be slightly more like tolerant to drought. They like heat. So if you have a hot patio, that can sometimes be hard on plants. I know like this patio here with the stones, it gets really hot during the day. If we have a really hot afternoon, boy, I mean, it heats up to the point where like you don't want to hang out here in the middle of summer because it's too hot. So if you've got a patio space like that and you need oh my goodness, and you need to find something that's going to be heat resistant, I would recommend looking into possibly growing some peppers in a container. They're really good edible for that, and they won't mind a hot area. They'll actually really like it. I think that's one of the reasons that peppers do so well in this garden space for me, is because they do really like it hot. Oh my gosh, we have so many bumblebees. I don't know if you saw that. They're just out here fighting all the time, but they've been loving all of the flowers that are now starting to bloom, so that's good. So many plans coming up. I feel like I have so many things to plant, but I'm gonna just try to keep taking my time, keep pacing things out. That's why I didn't even pull out the camera to plant this container, because I came down here in the evening, kind of like with the tomatoes. It was almost dark and I just needed to get some things planted. But we have plenty more containers. I will show you some of them coming up. I'm gonna do the hanging basket soon, so lots of fun things. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.